Hey, welcome everybody. So today we are going to discuss building locations. How do I pick the best building location? What is the criteria that I use? Where to find some good ones? So with that said, there are five different things that I look for. Um, Two of them are non-negotiable. One of them is usually associated with the other. So here I'll just kind of go right through, and then afterwards I'll show you some places on the map where I think are some good spots to build. So the first thing that we are going to look for, which is a non-negotiable, is it has to be in a Tier 5 area. Now the reason for that is because if I want to get some resources like tungsten and things like that, I want to make sure that it's close by because I don't want to have to go out somewhere else to go looking for the resources that I need. Now, I will have a lot of animals that are also, or not animals, but deviants that will be harvesting for me all day, but I believe they also need to be in an area where it has those materials in order for them to have the ability to bring them back. So that is number one for me. Has to be in a tier 5 area. So the second thing that I look for is it has to be in a polluted area. So the reason why it has to be in a polluted area is because it does two things for me. One, it gives me the ability to farm acid, which I think is something we definitely need a way to get in this game while AFK. And two, it gives me the ability to use the generators that we can use in the polluted land, which are some of the best generators in the game. So, in order to make sure that you are in a polluted zone, essentially anytime you see your backpack and you have numbers on it, those numbers can be anywhere from one, up, you know that you're in a polluted zone. The next thing that I look for is it in an area where there is water? Uh, that way I can get some polluted water, which I can then purify because we'll need that to create the acid. Um, or is it in an area where there's oil? Now, oil is going to be higher up on the priority list. However, I'm here on a week 3 server, so chances of me finding an oil spot are probably pretty slim, although I will give it a try because there's only very few spots that I know of on the map where it has all of these different things oil, and then the non negotiables, which are pollution and tier 5. And then after that, I like it to be a proximity to loot. The location that I'm at right now is amazing because it has all of the things that I want, minus the oil, obviously, but it's got pollution. It has water. It's in a tier 5 area, and the proximity to loot. One of my favorite places to loot is actually this greenhouse right behind me. It's got a ton of stuff, and this is where I get most of my blueprints, to be honest, for being able to make things for my home. So if you see, like I just did a run earlier, right before I started this video. So in here, I'll just show you what I got. So on a quick run, I was able to pick up a formula for another frame. I got a formula for a small signal light. I got a formula for wall vines. And then I also picked up, I think, this impressionist frame and some of these other items just from doing a quick run in that greenhouse behind me as well as that red house back there. So to put down your house, so I like this spot because again, it has everything that I want. Proximity, tier 5, water, pollution. It does not have oil. I'll check and see if there's an oil spot after, but for right now, I kind of want to lock this spot down. So what I'm going to do is hit B, and then I'm going to put Z, and what that's going to do is that's going to give me my house to move. I'm going to hold down Alt and use the scroll button to scroll it up so that it is not underwater. So this looks good right about here. So I'm going to go ahead and press my button and then confirm it, and boom, I now have my house. Now I just started on this server 2 days ago, and I haven't played a lot, but what I wanted to do, my goal here, when leveling up, and this is what I would do if I was rushing a server, is when the server's first start up, I would go through and I would not worry about building my home until I got to the final area. Just because the bigger your house is, I feel like the harder it is to place. And then you're always going to put yourself, one of those non-negotiables, if you remember, is being in a tier 5 area. So I'm not going to want to make it too hard for myself. Although what I could do is I could hit B and then Z to move the house, and then I can hit the tilde, which will take me into fly mode, which does make it much easier to place the house, as you can see. So whenever you're moving your house around, and you need to place it, this is definitely the way to do it. But since I made it small, I didn't have to deal with any of that, so I was able just to plop it down. So what I would usually do is I just needed a spot for my motorcycle and then a spot for like my basic stuff. Some of this other stuff, like right here, I build on just to complete some of the tasks. And back here, I just gave myself a little extra room because at one point I had a bunch of these electric stoves up because I was trying to farm experience. That's something you can do. Essentially, if you're going to go AFK and you're near water, you just sit in the water, hit G, it'll collect a bunch of water, and then when you're done, you set up a bunch of stoves and you just cook, purify the water. And then what happens is when you come back from doing your things, you can just basically collect experience. So each 100 water is worth like 85 experience or something like that. So basically you're getting like 300-400 experience per stove that you have set up just from AFK. So that's basically the first step. So I'll show you some other spots on the map where they are good. All right, so here are some of the best places that I think you can build. I'll give you my top 3 locations in no particular order. And these, again, are locations that either have pollution. Well, all of them are going to have pollution. So they'll have pollution, they'll be in a tier 5 area, they'll either have water or oil, and they'll be in close proximity to loot. So the place where I have my big house on the other server is one of the best places. And what's nice about this location is there are a lot of spots. So essentially, right here, I have my home. If I kind of pull out here just to show you, so it's south of Blackfell, and it is in the area. We have all of these homes here, which are great for looting. There's multiple bosses in here. Right here, which is like directly right next to me, also has some great loot. So that covers most of the stuff. I'm on the water, I'm in a polluted zone, and more importantly, there's a lot of locations for people to build. So as you can see here, I have a house here. The place next to me is also in the zone. It's right on the water. It doesn't look too bad here, which is cool. My neighbors are really helpful. So this is location number 1. And again, there's a lot of spots, so it goes all the way around this entire area, and you can see we have people build up all the way around as well as on the other side. So this right here I would nominate as one of the top 3 locations to build in. The next location was the one that I showed earlier, which is right over at the Blackfell oil fields. And again, this one doesn't have water, but it has oil, which makes it a little bit more sought after. And again, this will probably be impossible to get if you start late, but if you're early on the server, you can probably get it. You just want to make sure that you end up in an area around here where you have these oil streaks that you can go into, as well as you have the ability to be in a polluted zone. If you can't get a polluted zone over there, I would stay away, and I would then, try these other places. And then the third place where I currently have my building now, and where I will be doing a build video very shortly for, is going to be over in this area. So here, where I place down my building, is amazing. All along this area here, you have pollution, which is great. We have the water. We're in proximity to probably the best place for getting loot, as well as having the pollution and everything there. So that's basically how I select my build sites. Again, remember those 5 things: non-negotiable, needs to be in a tier 5 area, needs to have pollution, and then proximity to loot, which is likely going to happen, and then just choosing whether you want water or oil. And again, if you can get the oil, great, because the water will come out of the ground, so you don't technically need to be on a lake. But if you are trying to get polluted water and everything, then you do have the lake there. So thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you find this information useful. If you have some other tips for best base locations, or if you have a spot that I haven't selected that you think is really good, please leave it in the comments and I'll check it out. And then don't forget to make sure that you have the notification bell turned on so that when I do upload my next video on how to actually build the base, you'll get notified. So again, thanks everybody, and I'll see you in the next video.